All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Well, after an explosive Part 1 interview with Gayle King on CBS This Morning yesterday, where R. Kelly emotionally denied once again having sex with underage girls, as well as keeping women against their will in his house, well, today's a new day and more trouble for the R&B singer because he's back behind bars. But this time it's for failure to pay $161,000 in back child support. Now, in Illinois, it's a felony to not pay child support over $20,000. So Kelly will have plenty of time to think because according to the sheriff's department, he will stay put in jail until he pays the full amount. And if that wasn't enough drama for him, Part 2 of CBS' explosive Gayle King interview aired today. And this time we heard from the two women who currently live with R. Kelly, Azriel Clary and Jocelyn Savage. And they say they're not being held against their will like everyone is claiming.
I'm crying because you guys don't know the truth. You guys believe in some facade that our parents are saying. This is all lies for money. And if you can't see that, you're ignorant and you're stupid.
Well, Azriel and Jocelyn's parents have replied. They both accuse R. Kelly of keeping the women as sex slaves and brainwashing them. But the women and Kelly say their parents are to blame and that their parents actually took money in exchange for the girls. I know it's very confusing. Now, joining us now is Jawn Murray, who not only has been following R. Kelly for years, but he also knows people who work in Kelly's house. Good morning, Jawn.
Good morning, Megan. How are you?
I mean, I don't know. I'm better than R. Kelly. So what is going on?
Listen, Megan, Part 2 of the R. Kelly interview with Gayle King was just as captivating as Part 1. If people were tuning into the morning news, they may have been confused. They may have thought that The Young and the Restless had started early because it was high drama. R. Kelly put on an epic performance. He was crying. He was sweating. He was fussing at cameramen. He was punching. He was really upset. And, you know, Victor Newman would have been really, really proud. And the young ladies, they too gave a high gospel play dramatic performance this morning, and what I believe was quite rehearsed. See, here's the thing. Jocelyn Savage, who did the most crying and the most declaring about her parents this morning, this isn't her first interview. She did one before with TMZ, and R. Kelly's former publicist, Travion, was seen in the shadows giving her cues. You could see hand gestures like this. I mean, it looked like the woman was landing a plane, Megan. And so this whole interview was very contrived. R. Kelly was in the room. Gayle King admitted that today. She said he had told her he would not be in the room when she interviewed the girls, but he was in the room and he kept threatening her makeup artist with ending the interview the more the girls cried.
Well, they also said that he was making like coughing noises and stuff behind them when they were answering questions.
It's a very controlling situation. Here's the thing. R. Kelly did this interview to change the public opinion about him. He wants to change the narrative and make people think that he's a victim in this situation. But this interview did just the opposite. It showed a man who is unhinged. It showed a man who has a lot of rage. And he showed that these girls will do whatever he says and tells them to do. One of the young ladies said that she tried to commit suicide. That was Azriel Clary. She said that she tried to commit suicide because her parents were trying to force her into a music career that she didn't want. But her parents were able to provide medical records to CBS to show them that's not the truth, that she had tried to commit suicide because she had a bad breakup with a boyfriend. So R. Kelly has coached these girls. The people around him have prepared them very well. And these girls, I mean, this is the height of Stockholm Syndrome.
Okay, Jawn, you know people in the house. What is going on in the house then? Are they just blinded and they were in there since a young age? They don't know any better?
You know what? Again, I'll say it one more time. What goes on in the house is worse than what happens in most horror films. I mean, there's sexual abuse, there's physical abuse, there's you know, a lot of control. The girls are told what to wear, when they can eat, when they can go out there. They don't have cell phones. They're not allowed to communicate with their family. We saw yesterday in a clip that was released that one of the young ladies had talked to her parents for the first time in 2 years. But Megan, I have an exclusive for you that I learned on my way here to the studio today. Now, when R. Kelly was in court yesterday, in front of the judge about his child support. The judge asked Valencia Love, the woman who put up the cashier's check for the $100,000, the 10% of his $1 million bond, if R. Kelly had repaid her the money. Robert Kelly Valencia Love confessed that Robert Kelly had repaid her the money plus 10% interest, so that was $110,000. The judge was upset because of that, because he said if you found the money to repay this woman over the bail that you borrowed from her, then you should have been able to find the money and have access to money to pay your back child support. And that's the reason the judge took him into custody yesterday.
Is he broke, Jawn? Just really quickly, is he broke?
Yeah, he's living tour to tour, and he was supposed to do a tour in Germany, a tour in Dubai, and several tour stops in Australia, which was going to bring in a huge cash flow. But his money is funny. He even admitted on Gayle King's show that the first time he'd ever been to a bank by himself was 4 days before he was arrested. He went and set up his own account at a Bank of America, and he said he couldn't even get access to that money when they first locked him up.
Well, John, this story gets stranger and stranger. We're going to find out R. Kelly's fate because he's back in court March 13th for that child support case and March 22nd for his criminal case. Always good to see you, my friend.
Anytime, Megan.
All right. Bye-bye. Vanessa?